When using a grid method, it is really tempting to draw everything we see really hard right away in each box. But when we're approaching something like an eye, a nose, mouth, a person, things that are organic, we don't want to just do the outlines of everything right away. We want to keep our drawing really sketchy. So you want to have your pencil very light as you're drawing. And we're going to break down what we see with some of the lines that define the parts of the eye. However, we're not going to press super hard so that we can then build up the value to make it look like it has more form. To start out with, like this eyebrow, for example, it is a lot of mark making. It's a straight diagonal line. It's kind of like hatching that's built up to make it look like it's hair. We're going to be using a lot of our value also, the pressure of the pencil. However, just to get us started, we're going to kind of look at this shape of the eyebrow first. So if you need to like trace an outline, you're more than welcome to do that to kind of give you an idea of where this eyebrow starts and stops and ends. This way we know the eyebrow comes down into, for example, F2. It comes up through E, all the way through D, C, B, and then into A. Back up and around and down. And we're going to keep this in mind for all the parts of our drawing. It is a little difficult with your pencil to outline the upper eyelid crease here because it is in shadow, because it is a crease. And similarly for like the lash line or parts of the eye down in here. But I just wanted to give you the eyebrow as an example so we can approach that as we're looking at other parts of the eye to get our eye practice mapped out. So I'm going to try not to cover up the numbers, but I do want to be able to point and refer. Okay, I guess there we go. And I've got my numbers over here so I can keep track. All right. So if I look at the eyebrow, it starts kind of in the middle of box 2. It goes down and up. And I am drawing a little harder, like with a little bit more pressure than I normally would, because I do want you to be able to see where this is. But you should be drawing, like, you can barely even see that on the camera, like this light. I would recommend something like that for a starting pressure. I am going to be doing more of a harder pressure so you can see it. But again, I would recommend your pressure is very light, very sketch oriented. Okay. So the eyebrow comes up, around, into B, over to C, curves down into D, then a little bit in E. I think I made that a little bit too high, but I can always adjust. Down through 2E. Ooh, down a little farther into F. That's gonna go up this way and over here. All right, right now it's looking a little weird. It looks like an upside down banana or a really, reminds me of the Nike sign for some reason. However, that's normal because we just did an outline. Even though it's not a hard pressure outline, it's outlining this area, which is abnormal. There is no outline on an eyebrow. There are different pencil pressures, the use of value, the marks all determine all the hairs and fibers. So it is going to look weird. And most of the drawing is going to look weird until we start adding the value. So let's jump down to this crease right here. So I'm just kind of going to guide my pencil along. If you need to trace it to practice, that's really helpful to kind of tell your brain where we're going. But I just want to show you this dark crease here. We're going to go down to E4. And it starts I'm having trouble because of all the highlights and shadows. This is 4. Okay, here we go. It's like right above 4. There we go. And it's gonna come. It's gonna curve like that. I think I actually did it too high. I'm gonna go right there. That looks a little bit more accurate. And then the eye is gonna go up into 3. It's gonna go around 3C. Doesn't quite touch the top. There's a little gap in that corner. Remember, keeping it light, sketchy. We can always adjust later. And the values really will change this drawing. Oops, went over too far. And it goes like down into there. Okay, we've got that. And I'm also really glad that I'm showing you some of these mishaps because this is a part of the process. Drawing takes a lot of adjustments. It might not be the right way or the way that you want it to curve or the straight diagonal line that you're going for that very first time, and that's okay. Don't worry about it. Erase and adjust, or move the line a little bit more to get it to be in the spot that you want. It is part of the process. Okay, so let's look at, so I'm going back and forth with my eyes. As I've been talking, I've been thinking about how far down this little curve starts. You know, notice I'm trying not to address what they are because I'm really just wanting to put in the value. So it's like in the middle. There we go. Okay, and then it goes through here, through D4, comes up and around. And I'm just following this right here. Over into B, and then this way. It kind of looks like a lemon at this point. Now, this is where it gets a little trickier because I don't really want to draw everything right here because I want to use value to determine where the bottom lid starts and stops and where the eyeball forms. So I'm gonna try to make this super light, just if you do need that little reference. Okay, and then from there, we can kind of give a guideline for this bottom line where the lashes come out of. Ooh, this shows me, so I'm trying to drag it down here. It doesn't quite go into 5. I need to push it up, so that means I drew this too low. So I need to push this up also. There we go. Let's see. Okay. And then I'm going to freehand the circle, the iris and the pupil, but if you have tools available to draw a perfect circle, you can do that. But this is good practice. Looking at how wide this circle needs to go out from this area. There we go. And then I'm not going to quite outline the pupil either. I'm just going to kind of give a little area of where it would go. Keep it super light, super sketchy. Okay, I'm realizing that this looks extra strange because we've done this, but we did not do this. So this is gonna start over here. It's gonna go up and around. I think I need to make that a little wider. All right. Okay, so this is the majority of the lines that we can see. It does look a little odd because we've got these really strong marks that show shadow here. And you could, if you wanted to, kind of just sketch those out. But we are now, oh wait, okay, that is E. We are now in the spot where we are going to start using value to make this eye study come to life. So for the rest of this tutorial, please feel free to speed up if you need it. If you want to skip to different parts, go for it. Pause as needed. I am going to give tips throughout the video as I'm approaching this with value, and you will need more than just your HB pencil. I know I'm drawing with my H pencil here at home. However, you need your HB pencil provided at school, and you'll need the other range of values as well. So make sure you have more than just your H, and I will be going back and forth with these different graphite pencils so that way we can get a nice range of value to make this eye study look less flat and way more realistic.